Hi, my name's Doug Booth. I'm a partner with Karl Marx Advisors, and this is my partner, Keith Daniels.
Today we are going to discuss coordinated vendor withdrawal terms. Our comments are in reference to the food and grocery distribution industry, but this can happen across a number of industries. Credit and risk functions of large food and grocery vendors are well organized and will closely monitor customers regarding payment activity and market perception. As a distributor becomes more distressed and is seeking to conserve working capital, developing an operating and cash strategy must consider the following things. Number one, vendors are going to be aggressive in minimizing total exposure by looking to pay down their AP balances and/or changing terms to cash in advance. A particular focus is getting outstanding AP within the critical 20-day 503b9 threshold in case the company does decide to file for bankruptcy protection. Second, communication among the vendor community can lead to a chain reaction of tightening trade terms. And finally, alternative sources for product will likely be more costly and have minimal relief in terms, as they will likely require cash in advance terms as well. In a recent case, the lost terms with the top vendors equated to nearly all the availability being used up, which in turn caused customer service levels to become impaired due to the shortage and outages at the SKU level. Doug, how did this impact the retailers?
Well, Keith, the retail and the grocery side really has a different way of looking at this, and that their approach and their reaction could create a compounding problem for the distributor. First, you've got to understand is that the retailer has to have a full shelf. For every time they have a stock outage because the distributor doesn't have the product in inventory because of availability product, they're going to lose a sale which in fact cannot be replaced. And this becomes particularly acute when you're dealing with the holiday season, Thanksgiving through New Year's, where actually the grocers are ordering in midsummer for the product. If the distributor does not have the product, they will go someplace else because this is their peak selling season and it's where they really make their margin during the course of the year. And if the distributor continues not to have product, they will find somebody else and likely they will leave that distributor, which now creates kind of a corkscrew effect because you have tightened availability, now you have declining sales as inventory diminishes. So when you're dealing with a distressed distributor, you really got to look at the downside risk of the entire situation. And that is if you have a collective withdrawal of availability and product or terms and availability from your vendors, what will happen is an acceleration of the shrinkage of your working capital. And frankly, what it does is it further reduces the options available to that distributor. So when you're building your cash plan and doing your assessment for this kind of business, you must consider the impact of a collective withdrawal of terms from the vendor community.